Hey everyone, welcome back to Wix Fix. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Ryan and today's video is the last video of our little CMS series. If you aren't aware of what CMS is, it stands for Content Management System, and it basically allows us to create custom forms, databases, and dynamic pages that allows us to only use one page layout design, but the database can fill out and make hundreds if not thousands of different pages if you need it. This is really beneficial for things like e-commerce websites that have hundreds if not thousands of different products and or blogs with several different posts, but maybe you don't like the internal Wix design layout, so you can use dynamic pages to create your own custom designs, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in today's video. Now, if you did miss the previous 3 videos on the channel, in the first video, I showed you how to create a database. In the second one, I showed you how to create dynamic pages. And in the third one, I showed you how to create custom forms. So if you are interested in checking those videos out, they'll be linked in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and I'll show you how to create your own custom product pages and even custom blog pages. Let's go ahead and get started. So the only thing I've really done before this tutorial started was added the store and the blog to our website here. We are still going to be using the apps themselves. However, we're going to be using dynamic pages to customize the design. Because if you aren't aware, a lot of the Wix internal apps, all of the design settings are quite limiting, and maybe you can't really create the effect that you're really trying to go for. However, it is still possible. So what we're going to do is come over to CMS. We're going to go down to collections, and in this series so far we've created a database for team and we even created a database for job application. However, what we're going to need access to is the product database and our blog database. So what we can do is press this little cog and press advanced settings, and we can go ahead and turn on Wix app collections. So this is going to give us access to things like the Wix internal apps. So we can go ahead and close out of this. And now we will see that we have things for blog, we have things for marketing, members, stores, and everything we need. Now let's go ahead and start with the product page. So what we want to do is press the 3 dots next to the products database here. And let's create a dynamic item page. And once it loads, it's going to basically add a brand new dynamic page to our website. Now, obviously this design doesn't look the best. So what I'm going to do is actually just go ahead and delete everything here. Actually, it might be easier just to create a brand new section and we can just delete the sections underneath. Great. So now we can just go ahead and design the page however we want. Let's kind of just design the same layout as the Wix one, but this is just a proof of concept that you can design it however you want. So over here on the left, I kind of want to add a gallery. So what we're going to do is just add this gallery right here. If we go into the settings for this gallery, we're going to go ahead and choose a layout. And I kind of want to look like this one right here. And we can go ahead and stretch it. And actually, while we're here, let's go ahead and add some spacing in between the thumbnails. Perfect. But what we can now do is go ahead and say connect to data. And for this one, we want to connect to the product items, media items for media gallery. Okay. And since this is the product that we are currently on, you can see we have just the default products that come with when you first add the Wix product. But if I switch over to product 10, you can see that the content here changes based on which dynamic product page we are on. Now over here for the right side, maybe we just want to add the product name. So we'll add a title. We'll set the title to be like 90% width. The size can be like 42. And we want to connect this. So we can press this little connect to data. We want it to connect to our product item database because again, we are on the dynamic page and the database automatically gets added. So we want to connect this to data. And we want to connect this to the name of the product. So this is I am a product. Underneath that, we might want the price. So let's go ahead and add the price. Maybe for this, we can make it like a light gray. We can leave the size the same and we'll make this about 90% width just to match the title. We'll put it right underneath. We'll press connect to data And what we're going to want to do is not choose price. We want to choose formatted price. Formatted price is going to give us that $sign in that little period right there and make it look nice and clean. Next, let's just go ahead and add a paragraph because we might want a product description. So we'll go ahead and add that right here. Again, we'll say connect to data, and we're going to want to connect this to description, which is rich text. And last but not least, maybe we can just add a button underneath the description, and this button can say add to cart. And when we link this button to the database, we can have it say add to cart. And now we have a custom dynamic product page. Now, of course, you can add more sections and do more things if you want to, but this is kind of the general premise of creating your own custom product pages or designs. Now let's go ahead and come over to the blog page. As you can see with this one, this design doesn't look all that appetizing. It looks pretty boring or basic. And unfortunately, we don't really have that many design settings that we can really change to maybe alter this to the way we want it to be. So what we can do is go ahead and add a brand new page. I'm going to call this page new blog, which you can just call it blog if you want to. And inside of this, what I want to do is give us some room to work with for now. We'll set the height to be like 900 pixels. Let's come over to layout tools. We'll come over to tabs and we'll choose this one right here. Now I want to set the width of this to be like 90%. We'll go ahead and kind of center it. And all of this content inside of it, we're just going to go ahead and delete. And we'll also change the padding from 8% to 2% on all sides, just like that. Inside of this, what I want to do is go ahead and add a repeater. So we'll go ahead and add this one right here. We can go ahead and stretch it. And for the gaps, let's go ahead and make it like 60 pixels on the top and bottom. Perfect. And we'll also go ahead and remove the background color. Now I've already designed this little stack right here, but what we're gonna do is come back over to our new blog page, go inside the repeater, and we can paste this little stack design. We can align it to the left and top. We can set this to be 100% width. And then with the repeater, let's go ahead and remove the height. Okay, then we'll also grab the height for the tab container and set that to none as well. So now we have this really cool effect right here. But now for this blog, I created 3 different categories. So what I want to do is press manage tabs. We're going to basically delete all of them except for the first one that we created. And we're going to rename this one to all posts. Then we're going to duplicate this 3 times. And we're going to name each one of these for each one of the categories. So I named one of the categories camera. I named one of the categories travel. And last but not least, I named one of the categories food. Very original and cool, I know. But what we're going to do is come to all posts. We're going to add a content manager element. So we're just going to do a normal data set. For this one, we're going to go into the settings and we're going to choose posts. And I'm going to name this data set all posts. And now what I want to do is come in here to this repeater and we want to make sure we're on the all posts section. And we're going to connect this to the all post data set. Now for the image, we want to connect this to the cover image. For the title, we're going to want to connect this to the post title. For this description, we want to connect this to the description. And then for read more, we're going to want to connect this to the post page URL. However, we might actually want to do this separately. So I'm going to say not connected because let's say we want to create our own custom post page as well. So we'll go ahead and do that in a couple minutes. And now we are basically done with this all posts. And what I want to do is go over to manage tabs. We're going to come over to camera. And now we're going to add another data set to the page right here. For this one, we're going to do the same exact thing. We want to connect this to our blog posts. We're going to call this one camera. And for filter, what we're going to want to do is say categories is set to camera. So it includes camera. So we'll add that filter. And now we can just follow the same exact steps that we did for all posts, where we connect this, but we don't want to connect it to the all post data set. We want to connect this to the camera data set because we're on the camera tab. So we'll go ahead and do that. And now we can connect the image to the cover image. The title can connect to the title. The description can connect to the description. And again, we won't connect this button quite yet. But now let's go back to manage tabs. We'll go to travel. Again, we're going to follow the same exact steps. We're going to add a data set. For this one, we're going to want to choose the job posts. For this one, we're going to choose the blog post, but we're going to name this one travel. Again, we're going to want to add a filter for the category, but we don't want it to be camera. We want it to be travel. And we'll add the filter. We'll make sure we're on the travel tab here, and we'll connect this to data. Let's do this one more time for food. So now if we just go ahead and preview the page, obviously I didn't put that many posts on the website, but if we go to camera, we'll get the camera text, the travel, the food, and you kind of get the idea here. And it's not too difficult to set up. But the cool thing is you can actually do the same exact design and setup for your product pages as well. So instead of using the store's shop page, you could do the same effect that we just did for the blog page for this page. Now for shop, you might need more filters and stuff that may require code, which I won't be showing in this video, but you kind of get the idea from the new blog page that I created for some really cool effects that you can do with customizing your own dynamic pages. But now let's go ahead and maybe create a post page. So this page right here was technically not a dynamic page. However, you can, if you're going to do like things like this, like a list, you can kind of use normal pages as a dynamic list page if you want to. But for a post page that we're going to design, we are going to want a dynamic page. So we can come over to Content Manager, go to Collections, find the blog, and we can find Posts. Here we can press the three dots and say Add Dynamic Item Page. And once the page is loaded, here is what it's going to look like. So currently we are on the camera post right now, and you can see the default design looks pretty basic. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and add a section, and I'm just going to go ahead and delete the other sections. And with our section, we're going to go ahead and give us some room to work with. For now, I'm just going to do 900 pixels. Maybe for this one, we can go ahead and set like a 1x2 grid here. For this top grid, maybe we can set this to be like 900 pixels. And inside of this top area, we can add an image that we can stretch. Because this is a dynamic item page, it already added the data set for us. So we can go ahead and connect this to the cover image. Then maybe for this bottom section, we can add a container. Maybe this container can be 80% width. We can set this to the top. For the design, we can make it white. Maybe the corners can be slightly rounded, maybe 24 pixels. And we can add a slight shadow. Now for the height of this, let's just go ahead and make this kind of long for now. And maybe inside of this, we can just go ahead and add a paragraph. This paragraph can be 90% width, sent to the top. And this text can connect to the text for this blog post. And I kind of want to just edit the text real quick. So let's just go over to our dashboard. And all I really want to do with this blog post is kind of make it a little bit longer, just so it looks more like a normal blog post. And we'll go ahead and publish it real quick. Then we'll go back to our website, and this text should update here pretty soon. Perfect. And maybe we'll grab this container. Let's go ahead and remove the height. So we'll set this to none. Then we'll grab this text and maybe add like 60 pixels on the top and bottom. Then we'll grab this container, and maybe under margins, we can set like a negative 120 pixels. So it kind of goes above the top area. Maybe up here, we can have the title of the post. So we can go ahead and maybe add a title. We can go ahead and connect this text to the post title. Now for the design, maybe we can have this be kind of big, and maybe we can center this inside the box here. Now, some images might be a little bit brighter. So what we can do is come over here. Let's go ahead and raise the background color to the dark background color. And let's lower the opacity for the image to like 50%. And last but not least, with the image, maybe for corners, for the bottom corners, we can set these both to 24 just to give us those nice rounded edges. And again, let's go ahead and center this text here. So now we have our own custom blog page that looks really, really cool. And of course, we can switch this over to food and it would look like this. Of course, I did not add all of that text for all of them, so it kind of just looks a little short here. But as you can see, we created dynamic item pages for each one of our blog posts and completely customized it. But that's basically going to wrap it up for today's video. If you all did enjoy, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel for more Wix and EditorX content coming out really soon. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all on the next one.